Arc 2 Slapping the Black-Hearted Lotus Chapter 1 Zhou Yunsheng stayed by Du Zhulang's side until his death. The day after, he also didn't hesitate to leave the world. In the past, under the villain system's control, he always unrelentingly transmigrated, completing one demanding task after another. No chance to catch his breath. This time he was free to control his own time. He stayed in the Xinghai space for a long time. He hibernated to nourish his soul, until his affection for Du Zhulang gradually faded with the passage of time. When he woke up, he began fiddling with the AI on his wrist. During the time when the AI had not been hacked by him, he learned that along with the tasks gradually becoming more troublesome, his soul power also increased. At the same time, he'd become more closely linked to the system. The system and the house depended on each other to survive, only waiting for some day when the soul power reached the most critical point and the Lord God could absorb it through the system, digesting it and using it as a power source to support the heterodimensional space. The so-called be sent back to the real world after completing the task was just a beautiful lie. They were merely a herd of livestock raised by the Lord God. Once they fattened up, they would be slaughtered. When 007's tentacles penetrated deeper and deeper into his soul, he accidentally found out this secret. He was a hacker, so he wasn't like other people who fanatically obsessed with returning to the real world. To him, there was no difference between a real and virtual. In fact, he contrarily lived more uninhibited in the virtual world. He has always been the king of the virtual world. It wasn't unreasonable to say that choosing him was the Lord God's greatest mistake, like inviting a wolf into the house. After adjusting his mentality, Zhou Yunsheng clicked the AI, then disappeared into the endless sky in a flash. When he woke up again, Zhou Yunsheng was standing in front of the canvas, holding a paint-stained brush, his body carrying a strong smell of poppy oil. He stood still for a moment before he began observing the surrounding environment. This was a rather spacious and empty room, without any furniture, only 4 white walls and an opened window. Outside the window was a lush green garden with luxuriant flowers resembling a brocade. And there was even a blue lake in the distance. The scenery was beautiful and fascinating. Except for Zhou Yunsheng, there was no one else in the room. The AI screen flashed a lot of text. This was detailed data stolen from the Lord God about the original owner and this world. The original owner was named Wei Xiyan, 18 years old, currently studying in the capital's Academy of Fine Arts. When he was 10 years old, his parents died in a traffic accident. He was adopted by close friends of his parents, then moved to F country. The relationship between the couple was very deep. On the day of their silver wedding anniversary, they decided to travel around the world, their due return date uncertain. Worried that Wei Xiyan would be unable to take care of himself, they entrusted him to their son in the faraway sea country, Ningxi Nian. Ningxi Nian was 28 years old this year, but he has already been married twice. The last wife died of bone cancer, leaving him with a dissatisfied 3-year-old son named Ning Wangshu. Due to being busy with the company, he had no time to look after his son, so Ning Xinyan selected a gentle, introverted woman to hastily marry. Although they had no feelings of husband and wife, it was better for life to be stable. Wei Xiyan and Ning Xinyan only met when they were children. Then Ning father and Ning mother threw the huge family business to their son and settled abroad long-term with Wei Xiyan. So the feelings between the two brothers wasn't deep. You could even call them unfamiliar. Wei Xiyan lost his parents at a young age, and his character became somewhat autistic. He could never take the initiative to cater to others, and was even more unlikely to add inconvenience to others. Ning Xinyan was mature and stable. He also wouldn't deliberately make life difficult for an orphan. They lived together mutually, not disturbing the other, living in harmony. But rotten was rotten. Ning Xinyan's new wife, Xia Xingfang, had a pure outer appearance, but she was a vicious black-hearted lotus inside. Before marrying Xinyan, she got together with Ning Xinyan's close friend, Jian Yu. Jian Yu was Ning Xinyan's university classmate. After graduation, he accepted Ning Xinyan's invitation to be his personal assistant. Most personal assistants were trusted by the boss. This was a position where you heavily relied upon and needed to be self-disciplined. When Qian Yu's abilities reached Ning Xinyan's expectations, he would naturally arrange a more suitable position for him. But Qian Yu obviously couldn't wait. Due to being born in poverty, he had strong hostility towards the rich and a more morbid sense of self-confidence. In his view, being ordered about like a nanny was an insult from Ning Xinyan. He started viewing Ning Xinyan as the enemy. On one side, he embezzled company property and sold company secrets. On the other side, he seduced Xia Xinfang to help with his plan to stab Ning Xinyan in the back. But Ning Xinyan was the male protagonist in this world. He wasn't so easy to deal with. The two were almost successful when the female protagonist appeared. She not only won Ning Xinyan's love, she also exposed their schemes. In a series of dangerous and romantic confrontation, Wei Xiyan was merely a negligible cannon fodder. One day he went out to buy paint and accidentally ran into Xiao Xinfang and Xian Yu coming out of a hotel after a clandestine love affair. The two feared that he would tell this matter to Ning Xinyan and make him suspicious, so they set up a poisonous plot to expel him from the Ning family house. Zhou Xinfang bribed the Ning family's nanny, Wang Ma, to let her abuse Ning Wangshu. Then she secretly pointed out Ning Wangshu's shocking bruises to Ning Xinyan and said that Wei Xiyan was abusing him while she was out of the house. Ning Wangshu was a little over 2 years old. He hadn't formed a clear view of right and wrong yet. Plus, Wang Ma threatened to beat him. So when he was brought before Ning Xinyan, already long frightened out of his soul, he said that his Xiao Shu hit him. After repeated abuse, Ning Wangshu suffered from autistic symptoms. He no longer cried or laughed. Ning Xinyan naturally despised Wei Xiyan. Not only did he kick him out of the house, he also officially broke off the relationship. Xiao Xingfang's poisonous plot could be described as killing two birds with one stone. She eradicated this obstacle for her future children and kept her cheating a secret. A few years later, Wang Ma retired and the female protagonist applied for the nanny position. With her gentle care, Ning Wangshu's autistic symptoms miraculously improved, and the heroine also exposed Zhao Xingfang and Qin Yu's plot. When Ning Xinyan later sought out Wei Xiyan, he learned that because he had been abandoned by his loved ones once again, he'd already swallowed sleeping pills and committed suicide. Ning Xinyan felt extremely sorrowful and guilty, but naturally the heroine comforted him, allowing him to cheer up. Wei Xiyan was the most innocent party in the story. He actually never suspected Xiao Xinfang and Qin Yu. Forget about taking the initiative to say anything to Ning Xinyan. Even until death, he never understood why he was expelled from the Ning family. This character was very unfortunate, 100 times more unfortunate than his previous body. He was only a prop to increase the feelings between the male and female protagonist. After reading the material, Zhou Yunxiang passed a hand through his hair, silently sighing. So far, Wang Ma had already complained to Ning Xinyan twice, and was abusing Ning Wangshu even more severely. Ning Xinyan wanted to talk to Wei Xian, but Wei Xian was very closed off. Once he caught sight of him approaching, he'd immediately hide in his studio and lock the door. No matter how much Ning Xinyan called out, he wouldn't come out. This made Ning Xinyan very frustrated. He had no choice but to command Wang Ma to keep an eye out. Wang Ma herself was the culprit. If Ning Xinyan wasn't thoroughly enraged, why would she stop? Wang Ma complains again. When Wang Ma complains again, Wei Xiyan should be expelled from the house. After the last reincarnation, Zhou Yunsheng gradually acquired some knack for these things. If he wanted to completely alter the world's direction, he could change the fate of the protagonist, the original body, or other supporting roles. He could also change historical developments and major events, but the fastest way was to change the protagonist's fate. Next was the original body's fate. The other were progressively slower. The slower the choice, the more time and energy needed to be spent. As the villain, Zhao Yunsheng had already fought to the death with the protagonist hundreds of thousands of times, adding up to at least tens of thousands of years. After breaking free from the system's control, he decided unless the protagonist took the initiative to provoke him, he would never again entangle himself with the protagonist. Even with slow progress, what did time matter? Anyhow, he no longer had a time limit to complete tasks. So at the moment, his best choice was to change the original body's fate. But there was still a great deal of cleverness involved. Helping the original body avoid danger was only the most basic approach. Restoring the original body's reputation, then helping the original body accomplish an unfulfilled desire and realize their dreams. This was called a complete change. Right now, Zhou Yunsheng could admittedly go directly to Ning Xinyan and explain the situation. But who would Ning Xinyan choose to believe? Wang Ma, who served the Ning family for decades and personally brought him up, or an unfamiliar, cheap little brother with mental disabilities? The results were self-evident. Besides, how could he explain why a closed-off teenager knew so much insider information? Zhou Yunsheng repeatedly pondered for a long time. Then he decided to switch to a more tactful but also more intuitive method to resolve the crisis. He put down his paintbrush, covered the canvas with the plain white cloth, then returned to his bedroom to wash up. In the mirror, a pale and thin but stunningly pretty face emerged, carrying both masculine and feminine charm. With light coffee-colored, soft and smooth hair, obediently hanging to his ears, people couldn't help but want to touch and rub it. The original sharp eyes, once they touched the mirror, suddenly faded away, replaced by a faint, melancholic look. After adjusting his temperament to imitate the original owner, Zhou Yunsheng stripped off his clothes and walked into the shower. Due to discovering too many deadly secrets on the network, Zhou Yunsheng had long become accustomed to a life of hiding away in this place and that place in the real world. He would hack someone's identity, then disguise himself as them. Then, after a period of time, he would change into another person, cycling like this. From outer appearance to temperament, from temperament to habits, he could completely from inside and out become another person. His impeccable camouflage ability got him an appropriate code name, the Pretender. As for the side, Godslayer, that was a result of a sudden breakout of Chunibor disease. Since he'd replaced the original body, he would completely live his life the way the original did. Avoid all dangers for him and achieve his every wish. He was now Wei Xiang, sunken into self-isolation because of the loss of his parents. After a bath and change of clothes, Ning Xinyan also came back. Wang Ma sent a maid up to call Wei Xiyan down to eat. As the male protagonist, Ning Xian's appearance was naturally extraordinarily handsome. His almost 190 centimeter tall stature made anything he wore look amazing. Now he was sitting at the dining table, gently coaxing his son, Ning Wangshu, in his arms, who was silent, not smiling or crying. Hearing footsteps, his thick, shapely eyebrows wrinkled, and an icy cold gaze was lightly cast over, full of lethality. The original Wei Xiyan, because he was too afraid of this look, refused to communicate with him, losing his chance to clarify himself. The current Zhou Yunsheng was of course not afraid, but as if frightened, he shrunk his neck and chose to sit in the farthest corner away from Ning Xinyan. Zhao Xingfang said in a soft tone, "Xinyan, give me the baby. I'll feed him. You eat first." After saying this, she gently took Ning Wangshu, her lowered eyelids covering up her deeply malicious eyes.